the country and do poems, and so that's none of this. Make believe in the truth in the poems that I make makes me see things more clearly, constantly questioning, can you hear me, knowing at my best, politicians fear me. Politic talk, tick to you, feel me? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Sometimes I gotta scream and shout to get my point across, but the only way to find the right way is to first realize you're lost. This poetry is painful, searching for the rainbow, yet I share my most private, quiet conversations and tell my stories with poetic saturation. I'm a poet. I'm a poet, an actor, producer, a writer. I am the leader of the Lost Boys. I am the Mac Daddy Dragon of the NYC. I am the misunderstood Prince of the Fire Nation, Prince Zuko. So I just, I open up poetry venues like that sometimes. And then I'll do something kind of political, but then I do write poems about my nerd stuff, right? So we do like little poems like this that goes, straight out of Neverland, with Lost Boys, Captain Hook, and the Peter Pan. How's it go, straight out of Neverland? We'll go back. We'll go back to that. I know this one. A poem called Honor for something lost or misplaced, etched into your consciousness like scar upon your face. This honor that you chase isn't always what you thought. Matter of fact, the fact that you always had it is the very reason why you set out to prove its existence from the start. See, that shit you rehearsed before it's coming out, but it's impromptu. Tall Bay Fung, she moves mountains, so small but so strong. Next time I go on a life-changing adventure, you're invited to come along. A poem for my friend who doesn't even bend, but his heart's as big as the rest of them. Plus, he always has my back. That makes me laugh because he's funny. And when he told me that his girlfriend turned into the moon, all I could say was, that's rough, buddy. Sometimes the feeling of what could have been is so much stronger than what actually happened, because the memory of perfection lasts longer. And even though we didn't end up together, it'll never change the fact that you changed my life forever. Sutar. Now I get that. See? And then sometimes you go into stuff like, there's this one time I was doing a gig with this big YouTuber, and the YouTuber does all these like Disney songs, right? And we were at a club. I did a cosplay club in LA, and so this kid, Asia Raphael, doing all these Disney songs, and then he's doing Let It Go, right? In the medley. And then he kicks it to me and likens on me, and then I did a rap breakdown for Let It Go. But I did, instead of, the Ice Queen kind of frozen Let It Go, I did the Fire Lord one. So rap like this. So imagine Let It Go is going on, and it's all piano, and it's beautiful. And then I come out in cosplay. And I come out, what would you do if the world was against you? I mean, your sister's a freak, your father's a beast, and he scarred you for life. And what about your mother? She ain't part of your life, and I know if it wasn't for my Uncle Iro, I'd probably succumb to the darkness. But that's when I'm at the game, that's tough soccer and aim, guitar is where the heart is. Taught me how to heal this pain beneath my armor. And all along you thought I did it all just to regain my honor. But I don't care what they're gonna say. I let the fire brain down, because the heat never bothered me anyway. So, poems, I write poems. My thing is, I run around the country a lot, and I've had a long, for people that were at the panel yesterday, I've explained that I've been in this industry for 30 years, right? And I've been an actor for most of my life, 3/4 of my life. And so, part of being an artist and going around and traveling the world, working with great artists, and also trying to create art, poetry has been my way of just digesting life and who you are, what we're doing. And when I come to cons, one of the reasons why I really love the con scene, I didn't grow up in the con scene, I grew up in the nerd world, and it's so flattering and really lovely to kind of be accepted into this world, traveling and being a part of it, and a celebrity in the world. It's really a trip, but what I really most connect with everybody is that we're all artists. The whole scene, whether people are making a living at it or not, people doing cosplay, people drawing, artists, just the idea that we all have this creative spirit and we're constantly trying to express ourselves. And so poetry has been my way since I was a really little kid, just writing things about my life and how I saw the world and questions about things. And so I'm going to hear a real quick personal piece. It goes like this. Thoughts roam around my mind, thoughts roam around my mind. I'll ask myself, who's this kid that stands before me? Hope he doesn't blow me quick, sticking into the category. Well, he really doesn't fit in any. Brown like a copper penny, yet with Asiatic eyes. I see to my surprise, he has a black nose. But on the real, I am Filipino. And to break it down for the still, I will tell you I descend from an island where the natives run around nearly naked, named Negritos. Translation, little black men. Black as the shadows in the glorious sun, but then came a China man, maybe it was Japan, who mixed in the Asiatic blood. Drip, drop, drip, rips my tribe. Well, here comes the Bible of a man from Spain who left me with a Spanish name from a little conquered island from where I came. Confused, I question it. I wound up here where I found joy. I recognize I am a brown boy in America. A place where you are judged by the color of your skin, black, white, and here I am, standing on the land of another brown man. And that's the irony that I can see. Thoughts from around my mind when you got to hear me talk on this. Thoughts from around my mind, but my grandpa says just throw your line and fish. Thank you. So I didn't know I was doing performances like this today. But sometimes, whatever, we can write poems. But let's open some questions, let's talk, and who knows, I might be able to do a few more pieces or something. Questions? You got any questions? We're talking, conversations, man.
You've acted in movies, voice acting, and like YouTube movies. How does your acting differ when you do those different pieces? Like I said, acting a long time, movies, digital, stage, voice, and I explained a little bit, was it yesterday, the first on Friday, me and Laura was up here, and someone was asking us about acting. And it doesn't really change. The thing about acting is, when you get down to it, what you learn is, it's almost funny too. Like, we were talking here yesterday, and he was like, aren't you be an actor? It's like, I'm a good liar, so maybe I can be a good actor. I said, the funny thing is, actually, that's the weird thing about acting. Everything is all of us lying, pretending to be other things. But actually, great acting and great art is actually truth-telling. Because really, what resonates when you watch a movie, or you hear a song that you love, or you see a visual that you love is truth. It echoes some kind of truth. That truth is what resonates, right? We can't put our finger on it, but that's the truth thing. So you're actually telling the truth more than lying. And then you're talking about, does the acting change when you go from medium to medium, right? And you really doesn't. What really happens is ultimately, when you're doing any kind of scene, you're trying to be truthful and to tell the story of the scene, like whether it be love or hate or rage or fight, you're trying to have a true moment. Now, it might change because of the medium. And I'll just give it to you in a very simple, like I did on Friday, a very simplistic, practical way. It might make sense to you, right? When I'm on stage, right, you just saw me and I do something. You see my whole body from head to toe, so I may want to tell you something, and I'm doing this, right, because I'm trying to explain something to you. Rock stars, stage actors, really big. But now we go into TV. Now I'm in your living room on a television screen, and I'm anywhere between 26 and 50 inches. Half my body, right, my head. And so maybe I don't have to do all this. Maybe I could just do this. Hey, I'm just talking like that, right? But it's doing the same scene. But now you go see me in a movie theater, and my head is 20 feet tall. And I definitely can't do this. And maybe to have that same thing like this, it's right here. I just do, and it says the same thing. Or it's just my voice. So now you have no visual, and I have the same kind of intention, but with the voice, because I'm acting to the voice. So you don't really change. You do change your acting, I guess, because of the practicalness, but you're not changing the intention and the truth of that you're trying to portray in the scene. You're just changing because of the practicalness of how it's being received. And if you know that, you can kind of figure it out. It kind of makes more sense in a very practical way. So, yeah, so you are changing your acting, but you're not at the same time. Questions?
What's up? What's going on?
Not a whole lot. What's going on?
How's that bag of Asian treats?
So delicious.
So good.
Oh man, there's only one Asian treat I've had that's better than this, and it was a barbecue clover chip.
I don't even know what that is.
It is, dude, best barbecue ever.
Awesome.
I was about to die. But anyway, how does a role change you when you do it? Like, are you one of those people that when you do a role like playing Zuko, having all that anger in your character, did that change your personal life at all?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about acting, it all changes you, you know what I'm saying? But not just roles, it's like, life changes you. I mean, I did Zuko for 5 years, at least 5 years. But it's, one of the key things about acting is, you're stuck with the character and the character's stuck with you. That means it's a partnership, you know what I'm saying? It's you and the character in this together. And it's, you're changing each other. You're trying to bring stuff to the characters bring stuff out of you. And at the end of the day, you can't do anything that it's not within you. That's why I always stress to young artists, you know, you want to be a great artist, go live a great life. Because you have more to draw from. You're going to have pain to draw from, love to draw from. If you fall in love, you're going to be a better artist. If you get your heart broken, as horrible as it sounds, you're going to be a better artist. And so you have more to draw from. Does it change you? Yeah, it should change you. Everything changes you. The role, you know, there's so many things about the whole, not just the role of Zuko, but the experience of being a part of Avatar: The Last Airbender, being there from the beginning, seeing something rise, being on that ride with the whole crew. And sitting here now in South Dakota, partially because of Zuko. I mean, man, we don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like you go along for the ride and it's all changing you. But at the same token, people you meet along the way, meeting you can change. We all change. You should be able to open to change and impact from everybody. I believe everybody you talk to has a reason. You know, there's a reason. There's something that they need to tell you. There's something you need to tell them. And it may be a sentence in one hello, and maybe, you know, maybe it's a lifetime partnership. It's crazy.
Well, do you mind if I share with you my thought on thoughts?
Please.
All right. Well, the concept for a thought that I have is like, take this chip bag for example.
Okay.
I see it from this side. You can't see what I see.
Right.
So the only way that I can understand more about this bag, or the only way that you can understand more about this bag, is if we talk about it from each other's point of view. So that way, you can get a total thought if you ask enough people. Because they all see it from a different direction.
See, that is a philosopher, man. I can dig that. No, I told him with that. It's going to make it one of my poems.
Do it.
No, you know, it's exactly. We're all in this together, and it's so much to learn from each other. And that's really how it's going right now. I mean, the reality of the world, especially in the Hollywood realm, and I think a lot of you probably here know, is the world's changed. Digital age hit. My generation comes from traditional filmmaking, film, and old school. It's been the same for years, and then it changed. And so a lot of you guys here, the new generation, the millennials and whatnot, you guys inherited the world, and it's your world. It's the first time ever that you guys own the printing presses, the musicians, the filmmakers can go online and find their audiences. It really scares Hollywood. It's about trying to keep this communication going about where are we going with art, how do we progress. Because at the end of the day, the art, the stories matter, but how do we get the audiences? It's changing. So it's really a lot of the old school guys learning from the new school kids, and it's really a fascinating time. So it's you guys' time. Questions? Yes.
Talk about people affecting your life and all that. How is it working with Mako, and how are you affected by it?
Yeah, Mako. I was pretty close with Mako. Mako, for you guys that know, played Uncle Iroh in Avatar: The Last Airbender. And he played my uncle. And he played my uncle or my father at least 3, if not 4 or more times in my career. So I've known Mako since I was 12. The first movie we did together was called Perfect Weapon for Paramount Pictures, and he watched me grow up. You know, I was honored to be a part of working with Mako on his last. He passed away while doing Avatar: The Last Airbender. So I had known him for 20 plus years, and he's seen me grow up in Hollywood, and I was been able to work with him and ask him questions and about life. Because for those of you that don't know who Mako is as an actor, he's one of the most prolific most influential and important Asian American actors in America. He's been an actor for, I think it's like 50 years in America, and he created the longest running Asian American theater in the country, called East West Players. It's a theater company that myself, I've done plays in. I've also written plays there. So that importance of kind of building for the next generation. And because he was a sageful kind of guy, nominated for an Oscar in Sand Pebbles and been in, hundreds of movies. His passing, he was a very private person. Like, he didn't even have a party, like not a party, but a lot of times in Hollywood, great actors and filmmakers that are important pass. Just like there's usually a big village, a lot of people kind of talk and will celebrate his life. And he didn't want any of that stuff. Very quiet. It was like a press release. So I understand that private side of him, but also I understand the importance of who he is and the lineage of Asian American actors that he helped establish what Asians were in Hollywood. And I realized in his passing that I'm in that lineage. You know, it's like he's also still being Uncle Iroh to me from the other world, you know? And part of that relationship with him passing and me kind of really thinking about him, and really me growing up, going, wow, seeing all the stuff that he did and realizing, wow, I guess it's my turn to do stuff for the next generation. And that was directly influential on me creating an Asian American film company, which we do called Kinetic Film. We do Asian American films out of Hawaii. And we worked with Kev Jungle and Justin Chong and myself. We're doing more with Asian Raphael, like YouTube Kids. And then I started this Asian American Arts Collective called Beyond the Eighth, downtown LA, which is helping to curate and inspire the next generation of artists. I get a lot of people from the traditional generation do keynotes, we do workshops, we do live shows for the YouTubers, and really kind of creating just a new place in our own way for the next generation. And so that's directly impacted by everything Mako did, and who he meant to me, and him, without him telling me to do all this stuff, going, oh God, this is what I'm supposed to do. And so yeah, he's a very important person. Thank you. Questions? Yeah. All right. Oh, next. It's okay. We'll go to you, then we'll go next. No, we'll go you. We'll go. You started. Go ahead. Yeah, you. Yeah, I'm at point. You guys are like right in the same line. So we'll go you first in the back, and then we'll go second right in the front.
All right. Have you ever met a fan that like touched you in a special way in your heart? Because my dad used to be in the movie business. He was like a small-time actor. We met a fan, and it changed how just being just one fan made the world. Even though he was just one of those, like not really a background character, but there's not really a word for it. It's just a general actor.
Right. No, he's an actor. You know, journeyman actor. And in a lot of ways, we all are journeyman actors. You know, when you're I like to refer to myself as a lifer. So I'm like 30 years deep in this industry, and I'm too old to get any other skills. But yeah, I definitely have a kinship to like all the journeyman actors and journeyman artists. I come from a very blue-collar family. My dad was a telephone man, my mom was a housewife and a mother of 5, and then supporting us. Me and my brothers are all artists, and my sister, and so we just really, it's less about, you know, all the hoopla of everything, even though there's nights of, you know, there's crazy times of shooting movies and premieres and parties, and all that stuff is fun, but at the end of the day, when your whole family are artists and actors and they're making their living at it, and everyone has various degrees of fame and success, you realize that's just a byproduct of it, and really what it is, we're artists, like I said, like many of us in this room, and that's the kind of connection and kinship. And as far as being affected by fans, yeah, man. Well, let's just make sure we don't need to know anything that they're talking about. But fans are, you know, it's important. It's like, you know, for me, like, look, many years, I really didn't pay attention to a lot of fan stuff because I didn't. You know, you're a young artist and you're just nose to the grindstone and you're just trying to act, right? You're trying to book jobs, you're trying to work in all artists. Whether anything you're doing is like, I'm just trying to make a name for myself and pay bills and whatever, like be cool. I mean, part of doing it all this, especially when you're young and you're coming in, is like you do want to be famous and rich and get chicks, you know. Sure, and you do. But when you're in at the end of the day, when you kind of get to reflect on things you've done through someone else's eyes, that's kind of a powerful thing. It's humbling too. It's like, wow, like you don't always think about what kind of impact you may have. Getting online in the last few years and joining this whole social media kind of movement and really being led by millennials, I mean, this kid, Kev Jumbo, who at the time was one of the biggest YouTubers in America, and this kid, Adrian Rufio, another really huge YouTuber kid, trying to get me to get onto YouTube and get involved in social media. And I was like, man, I'm not online, that's you guys, I'm not online. And they're like, Google yourself, you're online. I'm like, okay, you're right, I'm online. And they really inspired me to really get involved in the conversation and to be a part of it. And it was really scary, because cats from my generation, our idea of fame, like the more famous you get, the more elusive you are, the more disconnected you are, right? If you think about cats that grew up my generation, the most famous people in the world were, Michael Jackson, Prince, and Madonna. That seems so unreal that they were standing in front of you. You would probably think it was a hologram, like that's not the real one, because they're not real. But how the world's changed is, the more famous you get now, the more accessible you are. And it's a scary thing for people from my generation. So a lesson I learned with fans is I really started engaging with the fan base online and getting into the conversation and understanding that, if you go on Tumblr, like for the last 2 years, it's just this ongoing conversation with me and the fan base and really talking and really discussing my work in the world and what they care about, what I care about, and that's what it is. At the end of the day, all of our stories is about, it's about people and about us. So, of course you're impacted by everybody who's impacted by your work, because we're just human, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what we're doing. That's what it's about. I mean, the money and the fame, the riches, that's all cool, and that's a part of it, but at the end of the day, it's about sharing stories with each other and impacting each other. So, and of course, fans have impacted me the whole time, and it's just, like I said, it's this like give and take relationship. Thanks for the question.
What was your motivation then? And you think the motivation now?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. It changes. I think it's all right to change. I started so young, man. Me and my brothers were breakdancers in the Bay Area, and became really popular breakdancers, became professional dancers, and we did a bunch of stuff. Like we danced with the 49ers and the Oakland A's, and we became part of the San Francisco Ballet Company, got scholarships to study there for free from the streets, right? To the San Francisco Ballet Company, to doing the Nutcracker and learning ballet. And then deciding we need to go to LA, and all this happened, and winning tons of contests. And all that happened before I was 10, right? So I get to LA for 10, which is crazy. Seasoned 10-year-old dancer. And we decided that we want to act, so you obviously have to study acting. And I've been very fortunate to start working from the get-go. But I don't even know how much motivation I had about acting or anything back then. Really what it was I like to perform. When you're 10, 11, 12, you're not even really worried about the politics of Hollywood or even the politics of social groups of going, because I'm on stage, I'm more popular than you or anything like that. Really especially as a dancer and coming from the streets, dancing in the streets and battling people, it's really, you're just bad. Bad, like the idea of a dancer is like, I can get down, so I want to get down, right? And a battle dancer, which we were, it's you want to battle people. You know, you want to fight through dancing. Same thing happened in auditions. It was like these battles that you're trying to win, and then you end up acting, and then as you grow up, become a teenager, 20-something, you realize there's a lot of other stuff going on than just trying to get down, whether it be dancing, acting, writing, producing. So my initial probably, you know, motivation was, I just want to get down. Like, I just want to, you know, get down, like, because I felt I was good enough to shine or whatever. And it felt good too. Ironically, I was talking to someone recently. It's like, I don't really love being the center of attention like this. On stage, it's not bad because there's like a very, you know, we have like there's an understanding what's going on. But like, it's like my birthday party. I'm not really a big fan of having a birthday party because then everyone's like eyes are on you all the whole time. It's like, I love doing performance, not really my motivation in life, right? But then it changes. Now you're a professional, and then your motivation is to always, you know, I want to do good art. Okay, wow, now you know, I want to make money. I got to pay house bills. I got to pay car bills. You have a big life. Oh, you have a motivation of that. That's real motivation. And then you get to a point of, you know, now I'm 40 years old, and a whole generation grew up watching me, and then you have this motivation like, okay, I don't even know how this happened yet, but I become a voice for my community, for the Asian American community. What can I do to make it better for the generation after me, right? And then that becomes a motivation, and you're creating, I'm in the midst of creating a lot of different things, films, film slates, other companies that just deal with that. And so the motivation changes, and then it gets back to like, I mean, but underneath it still is like, you know, wow, I just want to get on stage and get down, or I just want to go to a club in the middle of the night and just dance, you know, with a hat low, and just to get down. That never leaves, but as we grow up and as life changes us, the motivations change, and it's okay for it to change. It's supposed to change, because as people and as artists, if you're not changing, you're dead, you know? You have to change. The world's constantly changing. So that's part of it. It's like, it's not always about like, let's get back to some great time. Okay, those are great times. No, let's move forward and change to see what's going to come from that. I don't know, man, check out all those songs. Sunday. Questions? Yeah.
I don't want to.
Oh yeah, Doug Walker.
I'm nervous.
No, man, that's cool. I think the character is a jerk, but he's super cool. Like, I met him at a con, and we just kind of like, you know, in the green room, like all the talented cats, we hang out, and I had no idea who this dude was, right? Then an establishment critic. But he's super nice, and he was like, yo, would you like to come out to Chicago sometime and shoot some YouTube videos? And I'm like, all right, I mean, okay. He's like, I'll fly to Chicago. I'm like, yeah, man, I like Chicago. All right, like, you seem cool. And so I ended up flying out there, and I had a really great time. So this is the thing, we just became like friends in that way, right? And I loved working with him because he works with his family. Like, his brother shoots stuff with him, they produce it together, like, their wives are like bringing us food and stuff like that. His dad's building the sets, and it's very reminiscent of me and my brothers. Like, our whole family has always been that kind of family, like it's a circus family. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that really resonated with me, and he was so much fun. He got me to do some crazy stuff. I didn't really read the scripts before I went out there. I'll admit, I was like, whatever, and I'm like reading the script as I was like landing, and he got me doing cosplaying all my characters. I'm like, damn, Doug, you got me doing all this crazy stuff. And the time differences were different, so the time I had to wake up to get ready for certain things were like 3 in the morning LA time. I was like, dude, you really got me. You got me so much that all of a sudden I'm just doing whatever he says to do, and I'm like firebending with my pelvis and stuff. I'm like, what do you got me doing? I'm just so tired that now I'm like a puppet. But it's great. He's actually a really, really great guy. I think that character is like a jerk kind of character, but at the end of the day, that guy's super, super cool, super nice. Questions? Yeah, what represents the Philippines and how I did that. Yeah, I was just there a month ago. I try to go back every year, every other year. I've been going back every year or so recently. When I go home, I grew up in America, right? I'm what you call Filipino American, Philam, which is cool. Because I come from a military family. My grandparents on both sides are military, Army, Navy. My dad, all my uncles, Army, Navy, Air Force, and so one of those military families here. When you grow up like that, that's like, this is its own thing, right? Like my grandpa was from the Philippines, but he was an officer, college student officer in the Philippines. My dad was born an American citizen on the bases out there. And so when I go home, Philippines and America have a very interesting kind of relationship. It's like if you've never been to Asia and you kind of want to go to Asia, a good entry-level place is to go to Manila, go to the Philippines, because all the signs are in English. It's the most American place in Asia. But it's definitely Asia. Like, you're definitely in Asia, but everyone speaks English and it's very American, right? So when I go home and I do like shows out there and I do like interviews, I'm like the Filipino, I'm like the Philam. They call me, oh, you're the Philam. They're very proud of me because I've been able to kind of help bring what Filipinos are to the world, right? So it's beautiful to have, pride from a country that you're connected to, but you're not from. As I've grown up, I've been more interested in going back and getting in touch with my family out there, and actually also bringing work out there. I shot a movie out there a few years back. I'm in the middle of setting up another movie to be shot out there, and trying to bridge that gap because there's so much great talent out there. And I have so many friends in America that I'm like trying to go. My own personal little goal is to go there, every few years, do a project out there, bring American money out there, and bring American talent out there, and connect with some of the great talent in the Philippines, and try to bring some of that talent back to America. So, maybe I'm a bridge, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm just whatever. I don't know. Yeah, it's awesome. All around. My family's from the provinces, so, Zambales and Pangasinan, and my dad was stationed in Subic, so of course he wants to go see Subic. We're like, all right, well, let's get the car, go see that. Yeah, I did see that. My grandfather was actually in the Bataan March, and Death March, and my whole family's involved with that kind of stuff, so, yeah, it's big. So, like that history, I definitely know the history of my family in the Philippines there. Thanks for the question. What's up, man? How y'all doing? Okay. All right, cool. Questions? Doug, you got another question?
I do. Well,
another thought?
It is, actually. It is
another thought.
All right. Well, you're talking about how, you'd like to try to bring other people's acting out, and you like to try to burgeon them. And you'd like to take what you've gotten from last generations and bring them forward.
Yep.
There's a concept in an anime that a lot of people know, Naruto. But
I know Naruto.
Yeah. Well,
it's a long series. I have not got through all of it.
Well,
people are like, just skip that. That's just filler.
Like the 100 episodes at the end, yeah. But the concept that I really grabbed onto that is the will of fire, which is you take something from the last generation and you try to pass it on. Like your grandfather gave something to your father. Let's be it a little thing, the way he laughs, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you pass that on, and you try to pass it on to the next generation. Because
it's true.
Yeah, the theory of it is that if there's a small fire and it continuously touches other things, it's going to get bigger and bigger as it goes on.
That's like the whole thing, right? That's like the whole thing. Like art, like acting is like any art form, But any craftsmanship, but also goes to like martial arts, Asian arts, right? And so I had a coach that would tell us, you have to seek out a master, study with a master, become a master, pass it on. That's like, in basic, that's the thing, right? Seek out a master, become a master, pass it on. And that's pretty much how everything goes and how it continues. It's just happening now. You're finding masters on YouTube. That kind of stuff. And I did a poem because of this. It's called Advice to be Young Artist. Seek out and study what a master if you're after greatness. My aim is to impact the world and be the catalyst. Seek out and study what a master if you're after greatness. My aim is to impact the world and be a catalyst for changes. Fuck what your name is. You should want to be good more than you want to be famous. Questions. Yes.
You're getting all philosophical with everything.
I know. I'm like super in philosophy class right now. But it is Sundays. It's church day. We're just talking about things.
Well, I'm gonna be that one fan.
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna be that one fan and ask, how did you find out that you were being included in Homestuck, and what was your reaction?
Yeah, man, that Homestuck stuff is crazy, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, how did I become a Homestuck? Like, I'm full on a Homestuck. I'm like part of this crazy comic. The Homestuck thing is its own world, right? And then what happened was I started doing, like I said, I started going online. All my millennial friends were like, you gotta get involved online and you find the conversation finds you. I literally just started doing Twitter, and I was like, all right, I don't know what I'm doing, but what's up, everybody? And then after I was on Twitter for like a day or two, some girl named Jean B was like, you need to get on Tumblr. I'm like, I just got on Twitter. I don't know about Tumblr, I just got here. And she was like, no, go on Tumblr and you'll have 1,000 followers by tomorrow. And I go, that sounds cool, I guess. So then I followed Gene Bean to Tumblr, and I was like, yo, I'm on Tumblr. Hi, everybody, right? And then, like, that day or the next day, like the next 2 or 3 days, I was bombarded by, like, Homestucks. That were sending me pictures of, like, a Rufio I didn't know. Like, what kind of Rufio is that? And all these just crazy pictures, and people are like, you have to read Homestuck. And I'm like, what is Homestuck? And they're like, it's the webcomic. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I was like, yo, I decided, and I still am this way, like online especially. Like, I wrote a poem about it too, right? On my YouTube, which I can't remember, I can't say it right now. But the whole concept of the poem is called To My Followers and Fans. But the reality is, the irony is like, I'm following you. Like, you're following me, but I'm actually following you guys. Because, again, that's probably how the relationship goes, right? And so, I was like, following the fans. Like, all right, you want me to read Homestuck? All right, let me check out this Homestuck. And I started just kind of lightweight live blogging Homestuck, right? And then kind of posting on Tumblr. Like, all right, I'm reading this thing. Totally wrong. I read like the first 100 pages and didn't read any of the Pester logs. And I'm like, yo, I'm supposed to read this stuff? And so I go all the way back, and then people are like kind of laughing at me, but laughing with me, and I become like this pet of the whole Homestuck scene, and they're following me as I'm like reading the whole thing. And I forgot, they told me I'm in it somewhere, and I totally forgot about it. By the time, this is the other thing. No one told me it was thousands of pages and it was going to consume all of my reading for like ever. I was like, no one told me there's like 8,000 pages. I would never have started this damn thing. So basically, I mean, it's like, whatever. I don't know, how does anybody get caught up in Homestuck? I mean, I'm probably, like all the other Homestucks, it's like someone told you to read it, and then you were dumb enough to read it. And then you're like, okay, this is cool, that's cool, this is horrible art, well, this is actually good. It's like, when I first started reading, I was like, what is this? This is not good. I'm like reading going, this is definitely not good. And then it kind of like grows on you, right? All of a sudden you're like, oh, that's interesting, this is a cool character, and then you start falling in love with the kids, and then the trolls come out of nowhere, and then you start going, what is that? What's going on? I'm still super confused about a lot of stuff. And I even ask Husky when I'm hanging out with him, like, what the fuck's up with the mayor? What's going on? the whole mayor thing, dude, like, I fast forward through some of that shit sometimes. He's like, don't worry about that stuff. I'm like, that's confusing to me, that mayor. But, you know, you love your part, you love the characters you love. I don't know, so it kind of, just organically kind of happened. And then when the kiss happened, which was crazy, I was kind of drunk that night because I was like at home drinking wine. If you look at my Tumblr, I was live blogging that night, that section, and it was kind of funny because I was drunk and it was like, felt kind of, you know, I was like, damn, I feel a little bit like, you know, I don't know. What's he doing here? But it's been it's been an exciting adventure, and the adventure continues. I mean, Homestuck's such a beautiful world now, creative consulting for the company, and there's a lot of stuff that we have planned that we're gonna see, like, it's over officially, Homestuck, which is super sad, but you know, we have games coming out, and there's ideas of where we can take this world. We don't know if it's all gonna work out, but you know, we have some really good minds attached, trying to figure out how we can, what we can do with the world, because it's such a beautiful, beautiful world and beautiful characters. I can't stand it being over just yet, you know? But yeah, my Homestuck adventures continue. They continue. Questions? Yes.
I didn't know you played Rufio in a book until I read your bio on the Sodak Con thing. I was like, oh my gosh, that's who that guy was!
That's me.
Rufio was like my favorite character in the movie, and I'm wondering, how was it playing that character?
So, I mean, it was cool. Super cool. It is alright. You know, this is the 25th anniversary of Hook this year, which is crazy. Yeah. It's still here. And it's cool. It's cool to reflect. I've kind of been on a tour with Alamo Drafthouse in Texas, going to their theaters, and we've been screening the movie, doing Q&As, and getting to hang out with some friends from those days. There is supposed to be, I don't know, supposed to be a reunion coming up soon. So it'd be good to see a lot of people from 25 years ago. What was it like? It was crazy. I mean, I talked about a panel a day or so ago about, you know, that movie's a big movie. Like, everyone, I mean, I love my career, I've done all different kinds of films. That film in 1991 was the biggest film in Hollywood. In all of Hollywood, and Hollywood is freaking Hollywood, right? Like, I mean, in the entertainment industry, we're gonna, you know, there's no bigger place in the world than Hollywood, right? And so when you're in Hollywood and you're doing the biggest movie in the whole city, because it's Steven Spielberg at the height of his powers, it's Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman and young Julia Roberts, and basically it's another time of filming too, right? So the world kind of changed, and there's all the CGI going on and this whole thing, and this is the time when this was still the time when they made sets, right? So when you look at that movie, and I think part of the special thing a lot of people, when they watch the movie again, is they feel that old school specialness. But you gotta realize when you go into a studio and there's that pirate ship is right there in a room like this, like a big ass pirate ship in water. Where you're going, what the, right? And the whole, so the Sony lot, because Steven is a god, right? He has every single lot on Sony, on the Sony movie studios movie lot. Every single studio. We have the Lost, you know, we have the Lost Boys tree and the pirate ship and everything. It's like the whole, like we're living, we can walk around in the whole world, which it just doesn't happen the same way these days. So, and beyond that, you know it's big because every Hollywood movie star is coming to visit the set. Like every day you come to work with everybody came to the set. I mean, they gave us the sign-in book afterwards. We all got a copy of like the people signed in. Everyone from, you know, Al Pacino and Quincy Jones to like Michael Jackson and Prince, and I mean everyone came by the set to just, because it was like walking around Disneyland. So wow, so it's like, I just said all that because I guess what it feels like to be on that set is like, the whole, for all of us here, everybody was like, anybody here wants to be an actor or a filmmaker and wants to go to Hollywood, like that's what you go to Hollywood for. Like that experience is exactly why you go to Hollywood, and when you're there, you know, I was only 15, so I was still a kid, but I was a very serious kind of acting kid, right? So I started acting when I was 10, and I was a dancer before that, so we were studying this whole time. Even at 15, I was a very serious actor. For as serious as a 15-year-old could be, but I was pretty serious. But one of the great things is, one of the beautiful things I look back is that I knew how great everybody was. Meaning, you don't want to go through life not knowing when you're around greatness or great things. Or too many times things pass and it was a great relationship, or it's your mother you took for granted, or your grandparent or something like that. You're not seeing their greatness in the moment. I was fortunate at that time that I knew I was working with gods, like full-on gods. And I would come to the set on my days off when I'm not working just to sit next to Steven Spielberg and watch him direct. And watch him direct Robin Williams, watch him direct Dustin Hoffman, and just be there watching greats. You know, and I was like looking at it, and you know, it's like, you're around Mozart when Mozart's writing a symphony, or you're around Picasso when he's painting. I mean, that's what you're doing. And I was a kid going, this is crazy. I'm a part of that. I'm being able to watch these masters do their masteries. That's what it kind of felt like. Yeah. Thanks for the question. Yeah, in the back. Yeah, man, Bangarang, right? Okay, it's crazy, awesome, right? I was just hanging out with Skrillex 2 weeks ago, or last weekend in Vegas at the Zed Con. He's a cool guy. The thing about this is, I've known Skrillex since he was a little kid. I knew him as a little kid. He was in a screamo band, just in the LA scene. And I didn't know he was Skrillex. He was Sonny. He's a kid named Sonny, right? And so how the story goes is, I knew when he was 12, and so later on in life, like, the song comes out and it's Bangarang, and it's like, of course, like, I'm the Bangarang guy, you know? Like, you get in a club and like someone says, oh, Rufio's here, and then they play Bangarang, and you're like, I guess we're doing shots. That's happened at many clubs around the country for some reason. But it feels cool because, again, it's part of being a part of pop culture. I had not seen Sonny in years, and the song came out, and I didn't even know I knew him because he looked so much different from when he was a little kid. And then I was at a Grammy party at Paramount Studios when the song won a bunch of awards, and he was at the party too. And so we ran into each other at this, a big Grammy party that they throw every year called Friends and Family. And he freaked out. He's like, "Oh my God, did you hear the song?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, it's on every freaking radio station." And he flips